We're making me and my mom's favorite pie, lemon meringue, and it is dairy-free and gluten-free, so I can eat it with her. So we're taking a half vodka, half water mixture and putting it in the freezer so it gets cold, and then we are grating frozen butter. You want that butter really cold, and this is the fastest way to do it. It will save your wrist, I promise you. It takes a lot less time than doing it with a hand grater, and I got to use one of my favorite appliances, my KitchenAid mixer that I got for Christmas one year. So that is all of my frozen butter right there. It's very finely mixed, and I'm going to add coconut oil. The Bob Red Mills pie crust package called for shortening, and you can use that if you have it, but I didn't. And then you just want to pinch it together. You don't want to overmix pie dough, and you want to use as little liquid as possible in it. So it should come together when pressed. I did add a little more butter after this, but it should not be like a cookie dough. It should be kind of grainy, but it should come together when pressed. The dog is helping me with some of the rogue butter. I always appreciate her help in the kitchen. And she's always happy to clean up any butter messes I make. Okay, now we are going to form it into rounds. And we're going to put those in the fridge to chill because you do not want that butter melting. Now we're making the curd that goes inside. You're going to zest all those lemons. And then you're going to juice them. You want to zest them before you juice them, or you won't be able to do it. It'll take forever. You add about a cup of sugar. And then we're going to add 5 egg yolks and save those whites for the meringue later. And that is a stick of dairy-free butter. I learned the trick of just adding it all at once and stirring it from a Martha Stewart post. And it really does save a lot of time in making the curd. You have to stir it continuously for 20 minutes. So, put on a podcast, listen to Meghan Markle, My Favorite Murder, and just stand there and stir. It's done when you can run your finger down the back of the spoon and it doesn't run. The dog is less interested in the lemon, I gotta be honest, but she's still waiting to see if I break out any more butter. Sorry, puppy. All right, so it is done. You gotta let it chill, but first we're gonna strain it to get all that zest out because you really want that creamy texture, and the zest adds a lot of flavor, but once you've cooked it, it's done. So now you roll out your dough, and we pinch it into the pie pan, and we're gonna blind bake these. So I'm gonna put in some parchment paper and fill it with rice, and then you cook it for about 15 minutes. And then you're going to take the parchment paper out and cook it about 5 more to get the bottom. Gluten-free crust is very delicate, so be careful. Now we added the crust back in after it's chilled, and now it is time to make the meringue. I make an Italian meringue. It's just more stable. You don't have to worry about uncooked eggs. So you whip the remaining egg whites up. And once you get them to kind of a soft peak, fluffy stage, you're going to make some simple syrup, which is just water and sugar. And once that gets to 220 degrees, it's ready. Now, fun fact, I didn't have a candy thermometer. Mine broke. That's a meat thermometer that only goes to 200 degrees. So there was some guesswork involved. But you can do it through the softball stage, which I couldn't get to work. Once I got a meat thermometer in there and it started going way past 200, I figured it was ready to go. So then you mix it in with the egg whites. And I don't know why I don't have a clip of that, but anyway. Mix it in with the egg whites, and then you spoon the meringue on top, and then all you have to do is put it under a broiler to brown the tips. And you are almost done. And I like to have some peaks in there. So this is the scariest part because it's all put together, and it will burn really easily if you leave it alone. So you just got to keep an eye on it. The oven isn't really hot. You just have to avoid the flame at the top. And the dog, of course, is always happy to help me with anything I'm bringing out of the oven. All right, and there it is. She looks pretty good, but I wonder how she'll taste. So it's always hard to get a clean bite of pie out, but it looks pretty good right there. It was really good, actually. It was tart. The pie crust was amazing. It's really hard to find a good gluten-free pie crust, so I'm really happy with the Bob Red Mills version. If you've never had lemon meringue without a cup of coffee, you haven't lived, so go try some right now. Thanks for watching. Bye.